Hello, hello. How are we? Hi, George. How are you? Let me tilt the camera slightly. Go. So if I zoom out, you can see I got a good chunk done the last day or so. Excuse me. And we'll just be carrying on with this flower in here this evening. I've managed to actually have a good couple of a good solid day carving on this today. So hi Ben. When I loaded my software up, I did have some stuttering and lag, so I do apologise if that happened. I couldn't figure out what it was. It seems to be working. It seems to be running okay now. Ben, I saw your most recent Instagram post. That print's coming along well. Yeah, it's coming along really cool. So do you forgive me for not knowing, Ben. When you print, are you printing on a press or do you print with a Baron? I feel like that too. I felt like since Christmas I've barely had any proper time to carve. So the plan of action today is I'm just going to finish this bit here, and then we're going to get as much of this flower done as we can. You have a homemade press? Wow. I did have a press. I used to calendar my paper with it when I was a bit less experienced and needed a bit of assistance, so to speak, in allowing the paper to be a bit smoother. How does that work with wood blocks then? Do you use plywood blocks, or do you ever find that you get like crushing of the wood? Is there any warping of the wood when you put it through a press, or is it just not that kind of pressure? Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I understand. So question: when I'm speaking to you guys, because I've had a couple of mentions about this. And we're sort of conversing like this. Is it more beneficial for you for me to read out the comments and stuff that people are writing in the chat, or are you guys happy enough for me to just talk away as if we're having a conversation? Anyway, yeah, back to what you were saying, Ben. Yeah, every time I have ever tried printing on a press with wood, I've obviously used way too much pressure and caused damage to the blocks. And have you ever seen Tom Killian's work? If not, you should all check him out. He does these really crazy woodblock prints, and they're all printed on a press. Where am I? Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I quite like the idea of it sort of being like a conversation type thing, rather than me reading out all of the comments as we go along. Yeah, it's really cool. He was one of the first woodblock printers that I sort of found my first Google searches and stuff. He's, from what I gather, he started doing what pre-COVID. He'd started doing some work with printmakers in Japan, printers in Japan, where he would carve the block sets and send them over for them to be printed. If I could afford one of his prints, I don't know how I'd pick them. I love them all. But for anyone that hasn't seen Tom's work before, just search the name Tom Killian. As George has written, spelled as George has written in chat. You should check his work out. They're really cool. His prints are wicked. Indeed. Yeah, I've always wanted to reach out to him to sort of have a chat. I just never really know how to approach things like that. I'm not great with that sort of thing. I actually, after the stream on Tuesday, Andre sent me a few examples from a book by one of the Yoshidas, and I'd seen excerpts and stuff from it in the past, but I'd never seen the full book. And managed to get a copy, and I would advise anyone, if you can get the book, then you definitely should. I'll dig out. I'll find the name for it in a second and post it. Jim Mayer. I'll make sure to check him out. Hopefully by Tuesday's stream, we should be working on this bird here. I should be able to get all the way through this over the next couple of days, and then start the bird on Tuesday. 2 seconds. Let me just find it. I'll tell you the exact name. Let me Hiroshi Yoshida. It's called Japanese Woodblock Printing by Hiroshi Yoshida. And there's a copy of it actually, excerpts and stuff on Dave's website, woodblock.com. It goes into such massive detail about the materials and the techniques and stuff. It's really, even if you don't make prints yourself, if it's something that you're interested in, I'd advise everyone to go and read it. Yeah, that's the one, George. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a really special book. It's quite as well. It's quite a rare find actually to find a book by a Japanese person, especially someone like that goes into such detail and sort of doesn't hold back any of the secrets and stuff, and it's really a first-hand account of it all. I'm sorry about the amount I'm turning the block here. Take care, Ben. See you next time. Getting through this block getting through this flower rather fast. So there's just going to be some light tapping for a couple of seconds while I just clear out a little bit on these petals. Oh, George, how's your shoulder recovering? How are you getting on? One step at a time, George. That's good that it's progressing well. The better time, the more quality time you put into your recovery, the easier it's going to make it in the long term, isn't it? I've just got a notification from UPS to say that the Sunset boat prints have been successfully delivered to Jed. So if any of you guys would like that print, you can expect both versions to be up on Jed's store within the next, hopefully the next couple of weeks or so. I'm quite proud of how they turned out. That's one of the first. Well, that's the first print that I've done for Jed, in which I've provided all of the elements, so the tracings and the actual imagery and stuff, along with the actual block set and finished print. So hopefully he likes them all and they get put out into the shop soon. Cool. Now we'll get stuck into these couple of leaves here. Yeah, George, send me a email or something. I could probably explain a little bit now. So the camcorder you see here is Panasonic something, Panasonic camera, and I have a. Let me turn the laptop slightly. So here I have a capture card, so Razer capture card, and it has a micro HDMI in and a standard HDMI out. So the micro HDMI comes from the camcorder into the capture card, and that processes all the HD data, and then by a standard HDMI cable runs into the laptop. The reason I chose the camcorder is because the camcorder can stay turned on for extended periods of time without without overheating like a DSLR camera would. And then I have my microphone and everything plugged in to that, and the capture card's just hooked up to the laptop by a USB. And then everything is handled in a piece of software called Streamlabs, Streamlabs is like, it's just broadcasting software, but unlike OBS that Dave uses, Streamlabs I find is a lot more user friendly. You have like drop down and lists of things to add your scenes. So for example, if I want to turn the face cam off, I just click one little button and it all does that. You don't have to build out the scenes and stuff for yourself. So the starting scene and things like that, it's all, the transitions and stuff are all handled and preset into the into the piece of software. But the camera itself was about £350. The capture card was maybe about 100, and it comes with all the leads and things like that. And then the mic that plugs in to the capture card was about £60 or £70, something like that. So it's not a terribly expensive setup, and I think it does get quite good quality. I need to grow my Lewis. I need to grow my beard a bit longer and stuff. But thank you. But George, if you have any specific questions, or you want to know more, just send me an email. But Streamlabs is by far the most user friendly piece of software that I've used. I've used OBS and things like that, and there's a couple of others, but Streamlabs is the best that I've found for what I want. They have their own sets of like plugins and things like that for you to be able to add, like a tip jar and like view counters and things like that. But yeah, and if you can, I'm streaming on Wi-Fi at the moment, which isn't preferable, but we have pretty good Wi-Fi, and I'm only the router is just down below me, downstairs. But yeah, Streamlabs, and there's tons of different, they call them widgets, different like plugins and things that you can add, and you can they have a premium service where you can purchase overlays and scenes and things like that to add to it. And then there's external sites in which you can purchase other overlays and stream packages and stuff to be able to sort of more tailor your stream to what you want. If you're not so proficient with things like Photoshop and you don't want to go through having to sort of design everything and get the ratios correct and stuff, the stream packages that some of these sites offer just do all of that on its own. So that the one that you see on my stream is one that I purchased and adapted it slightly. And what's good about this this camcorder, this Panasonic one, I think it's the V770 or something, it does support wireless streaming, and I know that the new GoPro and stuff does, and Streamlabs has just got just recently had an update that allows for wireless streaming. So you can have like one designated computer handling everything, and then you can be sort of roaming around the dojo and stuff with your mic and your camera, and you'd be able to stream what you're doing wirelessly. I don't know how that would work with a Wi-Fi connection and stuff, but there is at least the option to do that. But if you have any questions or want help sort of with your setup and things, send me an email and we can do like a Zoom call or something, Georgian. And I'll see if I can give you a hand setting up. And the mount that I'm using for the camera just has a normal screw-in mount that you'd see on a DSLR. But what's good about it is has this locking nut here. Once you undo that, it can be posed from 1, 2, 3, 5 different pivots that all move 360 degrees. So if I have the camera set up and I want to point it over towards the printing bench to show something or to turn it around anywhere, then there's no sort of limitation on at least within the space that the camera is mounted in. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, so this, I just have this set up. There's no card in it, there's no memory card or anything in it. And all I did was remove all of the display information from the screen and turn off the auto timeout thing on it, so that it just stays running, and it doesn't get hot. There's no like heat coming out of the lens or anything like that. But I haven't pushed it past an hour yet, so I don't know how it performs. Say if you were running it over the course of an entire day or 3-4 hours or something like that. Yeah, doing it in a location like that will really add to the lessons. But yeah, as I said, if you need anything, just let me know and I'll do what I can to help. Well, I drunk. That water went down my throat the wrong way. And generally, I found almost whatever make of camcorder or camera you have, someone's got a tutorial of how to set it up for certain things on YouTube. There's a lot of Streamlabs themselves have really good introductory videos on how to set your streams up and to add scenes and things like that. Oh, okay, I see. I know. I can't wait to see your. I can't wait to see the dragon print either, George. Did you manage to get the color blocks finished before your surgery, or have you still got a little bit left to finish? Oh, that's good. At least you can. At least you haven't got any carving work to get back to. You can get back into the. You can get started on the exciting bit. I'm excited to see it. The carving looked really nice on the key block that I saw. And on the streaming side of things as well, George, what I do is I have my stream so that I'm not always just sort of looking up out the way. I have my stream up on my my phone there, So I can have my chat next to me. So if you've got your computer or laptop or whatever running the stream in one corner of the dojo, then you can have your phone up and you can see all the chat and stuff there. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Carving, it's funny because carving, even though carving seems like the harder of the two things to do, you can actually go very slow and very methodically and really take your time and assess what you're doing. Whereas printing, you don't really have that luxury. You have everything's sort of on a time crunch of getting the paper at the right moisture level, and the block's got the right amount of moisture in, and you take the paper out of the stack and it's going to start drying and stuff like that. So you're always sort of rushing. It was sort of when I first started printing, it felt like I was always just rushing and rushing against the clock. So what I found, just do a small batch and just really focus on getting smooth colour. And smooth colour, the key ingredient to getting nice smooth flat colour is the paste. Paste is probably the most important thing that you're going to put onto that block when you're taking an impression. Too much paste and it becomes sort of sticky and looks dry, and too little paste in comparison to the water and the pigment, then you'll get a mottled effect, and that can be good sometimes if you're trying to do what do they call it? I can't remember the Japanese name, but sesame printing, where you're printing with a purposely mottled colour, like you'd see in like the shin hanger prints on like the pavements and things like that. So yeah, paste is the absolute key in printing. When I'm able to figure out a way to stream printing, I'll be able to give a lot better explanation, but dry between layers. Yeah, Gomazuri, that's it. Yeah, I know Camilo Diaz lets his the guy from, where's my camera frozen? Camilo Diaz lets his paper dry. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Is my audio still coming through? Did this last time. Not last time, a couple of weeks ago. I know what I'll do. The last few minutes, I'll just put it on me and we'll just chat. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It did this last time. I might need to update the capture card. As long as you guys can still hear me, then that's fine. Yeah, I know Cam does as well, and I would assume as well, because he's not really working with key blocks. So registration wouldn't be too much of an issue for him. When you're working on a block like this, I'd never dry the paper between printing sessions. I always put it in the freezer overnight. I put it in a big damp pack, same as you'd see Dave or anyone printing with, and I put it in the freezer overnight and then just thaw it out each morning, and it just traps that moisture in there, and you just let the paper thaw out over sort of 2 or 3 hours, depending on the temperature of the day and the weather and stuff. If it's a particularly cold, frosty day or a wet day, it might take a little bit longer. But yeah, I've never tried drying the paper between sessions. If your key blocks, if you've got like thick lines or you're not working with a key block, then maybe. But doing something like this, where we've got those really fine lines, that'd be really tough to print the to keep the registration going across a whole print by drying it in between each layer though. Yeah, I would recommend the freezer. So I have a damp pack that I use for every printing session. I'll just grab it. So it's just a big large plastic bag, and the paper goes in its orientation inside the stacks of newsprint, exactly as you would keep it whilst you're printing, and then I fold the bag over it so it's nicely wrapped up and tightly packed, and then tape any open edges down so you can trap as much of the moisture inside, and then I sort of gently push the air out so that you don't get sort of any like sort of frost or ice build up on the paper, and then just let it gently thaw out and over a number of hours, and you can sort of assess it and see what it is. Basically, if the paper feels sort of cold to the touch, then there's too much water. We always talk about the paper being wet or damp, and it's not really a case of that. It's more, Dave described it to me as sort of feeling, the feeling as if you took like your bed sheets out of the tumble dryer, out of the spin dryer. It's sort of soft and fluffy. That's the way you want your paper to feel. Yeah, I know. UK newspapers are the same. It's the ink and stuff's not good. I buy sheets of blank newsprint. I just get it from Amazon. It's cheap as anything. Really affordable. And yeah, so I when I go to Japan, if I can get hold of a few newspapers, I will. If not, I just buy stacks and stacks of blank newsprint, and that works fine. It's always worked well. Right, so I apologise about the camera going wrong, but I'll figure that out for next time. But that's going to be it for now. I will be back on Tuesday next week, and hopefully by that point we'll be carving on the little bird. Yeah, that's exactly what I use as well, George. But anyway, yeah. So Tuesday we should be working on the little bird, and that'll be fun because we got some nice little feathers and nice fine bits to do and stuff that I can explain as I go through. But everyone have a great weekend. Stay safe, as always, and take care. And I will see you all next time. Bye bye.